And then I had another guy losing his mind on my phone on me today. And like, I keep going back to the same thing with these people. I go, you came to me. Like, I didn't seek you out. Like, one of these guys wrote an article about me, and I talked about the article on the show, and now there's at least someone pretending to be him. It's either someone pretending to be him or it is him, and he's losing his fucking mind. And he starts blowing up this guy, the last text he sent me like four 1 or 2 paragraph texts in a row. And I was just like, I think we might want to give this guy a breather. Telling me I'm a drug trafficker and all this shit. I'm like, this guy's lost his shit. And so he either is that guy or he's someone pretending. If it's someone pretending to be that guy, I think either way, I should probably call that company tomorrow and just warn them. Be like, you got someone pretending to be one of your middle management people? And if it is one of your middle management people, get him some counseling or something, because on the topic of Steel Toe and Aaron, he's really upset. Like, he called me are there 4 or 5 phone calls on my phone today? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, oh, wait, no, there's 2 on that one. 4. Okay, so there's 4 phone calls in a row. Just one after the other, and then text and text and text. Really weird shit. So all these guys start coming to me. And then when I go, when I respond to them and I just go, I'm either a smartass or I go, I don't know what you want from me, they get madder. And they're like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I have it right here. You came to me. I don't know what you wrote an article about me and I commented on the article. It apparently upset you greatly. And then you blow up my phone and go nuts on me. And I'm going to assume, just like with the April thing, just like the thing from a few days ago on PayPal, I don't think it's the real person. I think it's someone pretending to be them. Just like I don't think someone was really April on PayPal. I mean, that was someone pretending to get people riled up and talking, but who knows? I ain't going to respond. And then like with this person, it's got to be someone pretending to be them, because if it's not, it's someone I know and they're kind of losing it. Like I've kind of, again, another person that I've sort of broken. I kind of want to make it a 2-day event. I think that would be fun. Golf tournament on Friday. And then Saturday we got, the Stonies thing. No, Cockdiff, that's not going to happen because we've already talked about that. That's, believe it or not, dude, that's remarkably easy to deal with. They are not a threat, not a problem. And that is a dare, by the way. But then, yeah, like I said, this guy pretending to be, I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt and say he's not this crazy. But remember one of the middle management people at Town Square, Paul Shea, wrote an article about Steel Toe. He wrote an article about, the felony being dropped and, this deal we're working on and everything, which is going very well. And it was all very positive. It was all very nice. Somebody in the radio business said, Aaron, I feel like these guys are all testing the waters to see what kind of numbers you're pulling on clicks. And I was like, that's very flattering. That sounds good. And they are. I mean, there's no other reason to report on it other than Steel Toe gets you the numbers. I mean, and I think when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar like that, when you claim you don't like someone, because there's no love lost between that company and me and that company. We used to beat them up in the ratings really bad. We used to badmouth a lot of their talent. If he's probably really close with that Dave Overland, who a mortal curse. I mean, I'm not saying Dave Overland could ever do anything to me, but I feel like there's part of him that's like, that's sight with that guy. Like, he really mortal hatred, like wild. He did not take the radio razzing very well because we kicked their ass so bad on the Loon back in the day, he lost his morning show. Poor guy. I mean, but that ain't my fault. Like, that's the thing. These guys all come to me, and then when they fail, they blame me. And it's like, I can't be the first person who's ever told you you weren't good at this. And like, again, if this is Paul blowing up my phone today, which I don't think it is, because the last time he texted me was March 4th at 8:44 a.m. He wrote, "Love you, brother. Keep your head up." So and I don't have any texts with him before that. That's the first text I have in the text chain between the two of us. Love you, brother. Keep your head up. Now, how you would go from that to 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I want to clear things up. Tell the truth on the air. And then just, I'll get to the rest of the text a little bit later. And like just losing his mind, wanting to come on the show, like just calling and wanting to come on the show. It's got to be someone pretending to be him, because otherwise that's a real psychotic like leap. So that was a weird deal. Now, and there's very little history after high school between the two of us. Back in like 2022 or 2023, we were at a buddy's wedding, and towards the end of the wedding, my buddy tells me, hey, Paul Shea wants you to get in touch with him about radio. And I said, okay. So I sent him a text. I said something like, what do you think about Steel Toe returning to radio? Now, I'm not a big Town Square guy, so that probably wouldn't have happened regardless. But we'd been drinking. It was a wedding. We were having fun. My buddy told me to write to him. I wrote. It was the groom who told me to write. So if the groom's going to tell you what to do, you do what the groom tells you. Well, then, like a few weeks ago, somebody on Facebook who works for that company said, would you contact our people? I think you should. If you're talking to these other radio companies, at least talk to ours. I don't know if I ever sent a message. I think I told the guy I would, but I don't. If I did, I did, but I'm not sure I did. It certainly wasn't a text because I don't have any texts here. So I get a text from him. It says, love you, brother. Keep your head up. And then after that, he starts blowing up my phone today. Nothing until then. Starts blowing up my phone today. Call me back on air. It's Paul. I want to clear things up. I think you're lying on air. Tell the truth on air. Figures. And so I waited until after the show because I didn't recognize the number. So I'm not going to just answer some stranger so they can yell the N-word or something. Happens all the time, believe it or not, on this program. So I wrote him back and I said, are you drinking? Because I'm like, this is pretty manic behavior. Like, this is ex-girlfriend type shit. Blowing up the phone and sending, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 texts in a row, 6 texts in a row. After the last one was, love you, brother, keep your head up. So I said, you drinking? Why don't you get a show on on one of your stations and lay it all out? You used my show for clout, not the other way around. Own it. And that's the fact. They wrote an article about Steel Toe because it would get them more. Nobody goes to WJON.com. Nobody goes to 98country.com. So I'm like, you use my show for clout, not the other way around. That's the weird thing about all these guys. They come to me, and then they get mad when I got something to say about the thing in response. It's very strange. So then he goes, he said, okay, man, and he put man in quotes. If you Google your name, you will see that nobody is after your so-called clout. And I told him there is a guy on the internet who literally owes his ability to pay his mortgage to my clout. Like, Patrick Melton can't pay his bills without Steel Toe. So let's take it easy on that. So he then starts writing these big paragraphs. He goes, I don't blame you for not picking up. You don't want the truth out there, but it is out there. You just want to gaslight those who listen to you. And again, I'm like, you wrote about me. I have no thoughts. I have no opinions until you wrote an article about me. So I didn't respond to that. And he goes, speaking of asking nicely. Oh, I said, if you would have asked nice, I'd have been glad to help you out with your little story. So that's me kind of being a dick, being like, run along. Just, not good at taking the hint, this guy. And again, I don't think this is Paul because this is mental behavior, and I don't think you can be a middle manager, even at a radio station, if you've got this crazy of brain going on. Speaking of asking nicely, maybe you should have asked nicely instead of sending me a message out of nowhere that says, should we talk about Steel Toe's return to radio? Again, shit-faced at a wedding. The groom says, you should talk to Paul. The groom was insistent. He's like, he wants you to talk to him about you doing a radio show. I'm like, all right, I'll do it for you. So just hold on a second, buddy. So he said, no, I said, you wrote a story about me. I figured you needed my help. Also, earlier this month, someone asked me to send you a message. Sorry. Geez. if this is you, because I really don't think this is him, I said, take it easy, get back to work, try to relax. And then again, a guy who called me 4 times in a row and sent 6 text messages goes, here's your usual tactic of trying to figure out people's emotional state to try and change the course of conversation. Mother, I'm trying to get you off the phone. I don't really want to talk to you. Again, you wrote an article about me. I responded. You blew up my phone. Apparently, I upset you greatly. And now I'm trying to say, hey, why don't you go back to work? Like, why don't you, sit this one out? This is what you do. Try to get out of conversations with crazy people? Yes, generally that's what I try to do. So I wrote to him. I said, you came to me. I didn't come to you. I'm sorry for whatever I did. I mean this. Take care of yourself. And then I get another giant paragraph. Nobody told you to reach out to me. That's a lie. Just like you said you were hoping that you could have put in your own words a statement to go along with the article. Well, I know he's not a journalist, whoever this person is, but typically when someone writes a story, they go to the source and get a quote. I was also kind of being a dick, but whatever. Too bad the article wasn't written by a female with a high school girl mentality that you can manipulate. Now, this is another reason why I hope it's not him. Because that's a kind of a sexist, shitty, I hope that's not how he feels about women who work in the company he works for. I mean, I feel that way, but I'm not, I came to you to discuss the truth on the air since you want to put lie on the air. I think he means lies, not like the chemical. About any interaction we have ever had. We said hi at a wedding, and I sent you a text at the groom's behalf. And then a few years later, you wrote an article about me. 2 of them, actually. Like, this is insanity. So I said, get a show. Also, the article thing was sarcasm because I was like, I can help you out with your little article. I don't care what you write. I know you need traffic. I'm sorry you used me for attention, and you got it. Have a good day. You should be happy. And that was my last one. Then he starts saying that the only traffic somebody would want from you would be the drug trafficking you were involved in, which, if that's a public statement, it's mighty actionable. Speaking of psychotic, you really should do away with trying to evaluate other people. I'm a judgy bitch. What do you want from me? I do evaluate crazy people who call me 4 times and send me 6 text messages. Bro, if you can't handle the people you write articles about having an opinion about the article, maybe you should try to find a different line of work. That's all. It takes a real ass clown. Not an ass clown. Oh my goodness. To do what you did and expose your children in the process. Yeah, no shit. What are you, a year late to the party? I believe I've been saying that for a solid year now. Take care of your... Now, he did end it on a positive note. He ended it on a friendly note. And this is where I think we can be friends and we can bury this thing. He wrote, take care of yourself and good luck with the goals. Thank you. So, I hope that's not him. I hope that's not Paul Shea. I really don't. But if it is, that's mental, dude. Again, if I would have just started talking shit, if I just would have started flying off the handle and trashing, I get it. But you write an article about someone. You don't go to the person. You don't practice basic journalism. Well, then I get to read the article and I get to talk about it. And then the other thing is, I didn't even say anything bad about the guy. In fact, I said, well, if he's going to use me for clout, give me a call next time. See if we can do something. See if we can do business. And then I told the story about how the groom at the wedding said, when we got all up at the end of the night, he's like, you should talk to Paul. I think he wants you to be on the radio again. I'm not going to, I'll listen to anybody. I don't want to work for that company. And then I think 6 weeks later, we started talking to some other people. Thank God. But it's not like I came to him. And again, 2 or 3 weeks before this, I got one text from this number. I didn't recognize it as his. And it said, what was it? Love you, brother. Good luck. I want to make sure I have it right. Love you, brother. Keep your head up. What a mighty turn someone had in just a couple of weeks. Jesus Christ. Taste Fairy Ielto says, Ass Clown, what is this, 1998? Actual Steel Toe fan says, I feel like there's more to this. You would think, right? But like he and I weren't even like tight in high school. We were like, we ran in the same circles. We were like, I would say mutual friends. We didn't like hang. We weren't real good pals. One of my best friends is one of his best friends. But like, it was two different circles, if that makes sense. There was the people that blow up people's phones like a jealous ex, and then my circle that made fun of people and was really mean, I suppose. And one thing, I've always known Paul to be like a calm, mild-mannered professional guy. Like, I've never known him to like ever talk above a whisper, really. He's a really quiet, reserved dude. That's why he's a behind-the-scenes guy in radio and not like one of these loud-mouthed assholes like me. He's always been that way. So I would have really had to make him blow a gasket over the article that he wrote about me for him to act that way.